Today we're going to unbox, evaluate and test the living hell out of this, the ZMI 20K Pro. And I wanted to take a look at the ZMI as in my first ever video I took a look at the Xiaomi 20K Pro. And this for a 20K pack was almost perfect. I mean, it's very light for a 20,000 mAh pack, it's a pretty nice utilitarian design, it's capable of just about every fast charge protocol you could imagine, including quick charge over the USB-C, which I think is against the USB-C standard, but I'm all for it. On top of all of that, it's cheap as hell. I mean, depending upon where you get it, I got this for just about 40 bucks. So it's an amazing value proposition. There are, however, a couple of small hangups. One, it's pretty hard to get at various places around the world. You can't just pick this up on Amazon usually. Two, it had pretty dismal performance at 45 watts. And look, if you're gonna pull me away from 10,000 mAh packs, which are just so portable and can charge pretty much any device on a daily basis nowadays, then you better damn well have some better high-end performance so that I can not only charge devices for longer, but charge bigger devices such as laptops on the go. Cue the ZMI. So, loving the Xiaomi so much, I googled for similar packs, and I came across the ZMI because on paper, they look almost identical. In fact, when I tried to check the difference between ZMI and Xiaomi, well, I just got confused. They may or may not be the same company. Who knows, do your own research. But these packs have one big difference, and that is that if I look here, this ZMI is capable of 65 watts of max output. And bigger is always better when it comes to maximum outputs from portable batteries. We can charge more devices, we can charge them faster, we could potentially charge a laptop, the only shortcoming of the Xiaomi 20,000 mAh Pro. And hopefully with higher outputs comes better performance across the board from this Xiaomi. So let's get this thing unboxed and take a look and see what we have. And when you hold this pack for the first time, it does feel pretty significantly heavier, which is a bit strange because it's actually only 12 grams heavier than the Xiaomi. And by volume, it's actually a smaller pack. I would say that in reality, you're not gonna find too much difference in terms of portability. The ZMI is slightly slimmer, and I've got to admit, I'm always a sucker for these anodized aluminum finishes. It just feels like a real premium pack. It's got this very interestingly designed golden button on the side, as well as 4 indicator lights. And other than that, 3 output ports, 2 USB-A and 1 C. I'm actually a big fan of this finish. I don't think it's too much of a fingerprint magnet, and you can actually read the outputs on the back, which, I mean, maybe no one cares about that. I guess if there is a downside to this anodized aluminum finish, at least in this case, is that it does seem to scratch a little bit. During testing here, you can see that I've already busted up this pack a couple of times, but overall, yeah, I'm a big fan of these aluminum finishes. So overall, whilst the ZMI does feel like a more premium pack here, the Xiaomi itself doesn't feel bad at all, so I'd call this pretty much a dead heat. Now, let's talk about functionality. The ZMI is rated at 72 watt-hours of capacity. As with the Xiaomi, it supports just a huge array of fast charge protocols, which is great because increasingly the fast charging phones out there are taking advantage of more obscure fast charge protocols. It's even capable of PPS delivery, programmable power supply, which is great if you have one of the more recent Samsungs, such as the S20 or the Note 20 Ultra. Is that its name? I've tested it and I pretty much get the same outputs out of this as I do from the 45 watt-hour wall charger from Samsung. So there you go. I mean, this is going to charge any of the recent Samsung devices at lightning speeds. And I'm sure it's the same for any of the phones that have the following fast charge protocols. So from the USB-C, it has Huawei FCP, Samsung Adaptive Fast Charge, and pretty much the only stuff that it doesn't have is Warp, Dash, or Huawei SFP. But those are the proprietary protocols that pretty much none of these packs have. Generally, if you've got a smartphone, this thing's going to be able to power it at the fastest rate possible. I'm almost positive with that. You're covered with any of the typical phones, iPhones, Pixels, Samsungs, LGs. This has got you covered. Another difference between this and the Xiaomi is that this supports USB hub functionality. So if you've got a MacBook where it doesn't have any USB-A ports on it, in a pinch you could plug this in and it'll act as a dongle. And I actually think this would be really useful. I mean, I wouldn't use it daily by any means, but if this is a laptop capable pack, spoiler alert, I think it is, and you're a MacBook owner used to dongle life, I mean, I've often been left in situations where I've forgotten my USB hub and I'm not able to get files off an external hard drive or from an SD card, something like that. And I think in those situations, this would be tremendously useful. So I mean, if you were going to carry the ZMI in a backpack or something like that as a daily carry, it's just extra functionality there. It can also charge itself at 45 watts. So I mean, that's a really fast charge rate for a 25 mAh pack. If you had a big enough wall charger, you could charge this from dead to full in about 3.5 hours. And finally, for functionality, you can discharge this from all 3 ports at once. So yeah, you could, in theory, charge 3 devices at once. And given the 65 watt output, I mean, yeah, you could charge 3 phones without horrible results. But all that watt output means nothing without good efficiency. Packs like the Xiaomi are way cheaper and capable of great performance in everything up to 45 watts, which really excludes it from use for laptops. And so that's what we want to see here. Is the ZMI capable of great performance at a level that you could legitimately use this as an everyday laptop backup as well as for your phone, and put it at a class slightly above that of the Xiaomi and other 20,000 mAh packs out there. As reference here, I think I will mention the Xiaomi results at the same time so that we can see how these two packs compare. Let's start with the 9 watt discharge. At 9 watts, the Xiaomi put out 68.94 watt hours. That's 93%, tremendous efficiency. The ZMI put out 66.88, which is 92.8%. Both of those results are really great. So at least starting out, the ZMI seems to be on par with the Xiaomi. Let's see how it holds up. At 18 watts, Xiaomi puts out 67.79 watt hours, which is 91%, and the ZMI puts out 68.56, which is 95.2%. So again, at 18 watts of output, which is a real sweet spot for charging smartphones, the ZMI is already pulling ahead. And also that's a great indication for this pack as an everyday carry, because it means that even whilst fast charging smartphones, you can get almost every inch of that 20,000 mAh capacity. At 30 watts of output, the Xiaomi did 63.5 watt hours, which is 85%. The ZMI did 66.2, which is 92%. So the trend of the ZMI holding up is continuing. Now at 45 watts of output, which was the max for the Xiaomi did 47.8 watt hours, which is just 64%. And that was where this pack really let me down, because again, given that it's going to discharge so fast at that higher 45 watt hour rate, I think I'd just rather carry the smaller, more portable 10,000 mAh packs, as there's just not realistically that much functionality in terms of powering larger devices. And this is where the ZMI really starts showing what it's capable of. At 45 watts, it puts out 62.3 watt hours, which is 86.6%. I mean, that's tremendous efficiency. And already at that rate, I'm thinking those larger devices, you should be able to power for a decent amount of time, a very usable amount of time. Of course, though, we've got to max things out. At 65 watts, the ZMI does 56.3 watt hours. The performance, there's not really any question that both packs have just stellar performance right up until around 30 watts of output. Although even at that point, the ZMI starts outperforming the Xiaomi. But at 45 watts of output, which is the max of the Xiaomi, the ZMI has almost 20% more capacity at an incredible 86% versus just 64% from the Xiaomi. I think what makes this ZMI pack so special is not just that it's capable of such high outputs, it's that it's compatible with so much. So many devices are going to be able to get the best out of the fast charging performance from this pack. My Samsung S20 Ultra is a very good example. It's a nightmare trying to find a power bank that can fast charge this phone, but this does it with no problems at all. And I don't have to worry at all that charging at those high outputs is going to deplete the capacity of this power bank at an unusually fast rate. And with this pack, I think you could easily expect to use this as a backup for your laptop. With a MacBook Air or Pro 13, you could easily get more than one charge out of this. And I think with a MacBook 15-inch, you're going to get somewhere around the 80% if the device is powered down, or many hours of use if you're still using the device. So has this pack overcome the shortcomings of the Xiaomi? I would say, yeah, for sure. As I said at the start of this video, what I want to justify the extra weight out of a 20,000 mAh pack is the ability to charge larger devices such as laptops. This pack's also available on Amazon and more widely around the world, so it overcomes the other shortcoming of the Xiaomi. So without thinking about price, this is just clearly a better pack. But that's where things get a little bit more complicated. You see, the ZMI costs $90 on Amazon, and that's just huge, a $90 battery. And I'm not entirely sure, that might just be the price that you're gonna have to pay if you want a power bank that could legitimately back up your laptop. And I think that's definitely where these two packs separate in terms of being competitors. Xiaomi costs less than half of the ZMI, so it just gets really hard to compete them. And I think, in fact, that they both appeal to different types of people. If you want a 20,000 mAh pack because it provides more capacity than a 10,000 mAh pack, but you're still just planning on using it for phones and mid-sized devices such as Nintendo Switches and iPads, then I think the Xiaomi is the better device for you. It's a real value proposition at that amount. If, however, what you want is a premium pack that's capable of charging laptops, phones, multiple phones for days, go with the ZMI. It's got better finishing, extra functionality, superior performance, especially at those high-end watt outputs, and I think that's what really matters for these 20,000 mAh packs. It's what makes charging laptops actually viable, because the capacity of the power bank isn't just going to drain instantly as soon as you plug it in. And that's it for this one, guys. I hope this video helped you decide if what you were after was the ZMI. Personally, I think it's a great pack. It's definitely going to stick around in my rotation. We're going to continue on this track for a little bit because I'm interested in seeing if there are other 20,000 mAh packs out there that are capable of the same kind of outputs. Certainly, it's a very interesting space. That's a huge amount of power to come out of one of these portable batteries. So stick around, please subscribe, check this channel out again in the next couple of weeks. We've got more great content, and please check out the website in the description, powerupguide.com. I'll see you later.